Hi and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be re-looking at multimedia options for your MG4. Now in a previous video I did review a kit from Onecarstereo, which was actually a pretty good kit. But they've kindly sent me another one to review. This is an upgrade, a newer version and a slightly lower price point. So let's quickly go through the unboxing. We'll look at the device, we'll measure it, weigh it, and then we'll get it in the car, connect it up to the vehicle, and then we shall rigorously test it and see if it's just as good as its predecessor, and also compare the prices. But also stay tuned because I will be giving this device away to a lucky winner at the end of the video. And of course I want to give a big thank you to Onecarstereo for sending me this device to review, and of course to be able to give it away to a lucky viewer. Anyway, now on to the unboxing. So this smart device consists of a 4-core Qualcomm processor, 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage. So a tiny upgrade on the previous device, but some of the upgrade benefits are also the software which runs on them, so we will check that out shortly. So out of the box we've got one port which is for the USB connector for the power. Now this device comes with two USB cables, one which is USB-C to USB-C and one which is USB-A to USB-C. We've got a perforated rear to the device to allow heat to escape, and at one end we've got a micro SD port for expanding the storage. We also have LEDs for power and processing. Now in the box it comes with two manuals. One is a operating instruction guide that gives you all the explanation of how to use the device, and the second, which is probably the most important to begin with, is how to connect it to your car and to your smart device. Just very quickly, let's have a look at the dimensions. So the device is about 8 centimeters in length, 5 centimeters across in width, and about 1.5 centimeters in depth. So not a very big device at all, very small, and of course very light as well, coming in at 44 grams. The device's size will be an advantage for storage, and we should be able to easily stow away this device for a nice clean finish in the vehicle. So let's move on to the next part of the video, which is installing the device in the car. So we've got one pamphlet for connecting it to the car, and then we've got one which is the operational instructions for the actual device. So we're going to install the new Onecarstereo multimedia device. This is the device itself. We've got it plugged into the USB-C, which is here. USB-A is on this end, and we're going to plug that into the data port, which is underneath the floating dock. So let's plug that in now. So that's now plugged in. We've got a red light to show that the battery is operational, and a green blinking light to show that it's trying to load up the device. So you can see it on the screen here that it's loading up. And there we go. So we've got our home screen. So currently we're not connected to any internet, any Bluetooth device at the moment. This is how it appears out of the box. Now we obviously need to connect it to a device. So I have got my smartphone here. Into the settings on the device. And we're going to link to the Bluetooth first of all. Now we can see it's all switched on here. It's all activated. Now I'm going to go to Bluetooth settings on my phone, and I'm going to wait for the device to appear. There we go, Smart AI box, and we're going to select that. And we've got a pair request, so we're going to hit repair on that. Allow it to use contacts, that's fine. And then we can see Bluetooth is now connected. So now we're connected to the Bluetooth. We can see we're connected here to the Smart AI box. Now obviously we want to be able to use things like Apple CarPlay. So let's go back to the home screen. And at the moment we've got all our default third-party apps like YouTube, Netflix. We've got the Play Store there where we can introduce more apps. We're actually going to click on Speed Play, and that's actually going to load up Apple CarPlay. So I'm going to hold the phone up here, and it's actually saying finish setting up CarPlay. So I'm actually going to click on that now. So use CarPlay with SpeedPlay, yes. So use CarPlay. And we can see that the phone is now connected. And at the top here, we've got Spotify, which is loaded up straight away. And that'll be because I've got Spotify open on the phone. We've also got Maps. That's also loaded up straight away. So if we hit the car app, this takes us to the native operating system on the actual multimedia device, which is here. So if we want to use Netflix, YouTube, we can do. We're going to go back to CarPlay. So at the moment, we've only got Maps installed, we've got Messages, WhatsApp, Spotify, etc. So at the moment, if I touch the screen, we get a little floating dot appear on the top here. Now this is going to be useful in a second. It's not useful right now because we're in CarPlay, but this is where it's useful. So we're going to come out of the CarPlay and we're going back to the native operating system installed on the Android multimedia device. Now currently, if you want to use Netflix or YouTube, etc., you need an internet connection. Now, because the car's not using Wi-Fi with the phone, we need to be able to tell the device to use the Wi-Fi on the phone for the internet connection. So if I go to YouTube, for example, and you'll see in the top corner here, the Wi-Fi symbol's got no bars in it, and there we go. Connect to the internet, you're offline. Now, first of all, let me just show you why that little floating dot's useful. At the moment, there's no way to return back to the operating system on the smart device. So if we tap the screen and then click the dot, it gives us a floating dot. We're going to hit the home one, and that's going to take us back here. You've also got a list, and you've also got a deletion as well, and a go back a step. But at the moment, we're only interested in going back to the main screen. So we're going to go into settings, and we're going to tell the device that it can use the internet if it's required. So we're going to go into Wi-Fi. And at the moment, you can see Wi-Fi is connected. So we're going to click on there. So Wi-Fi is activated, but it's not connected to anything at the moment. And we've got the personal hotspot on, so we should be able to see my phone on here. And there we go. So we've got the iPhone appear there. So we're going to click on that and click OK. Brilliant. So now it's connecting to that iPhone. And now we're getting a Wi-Fi signal appear up here in the corner. So we're now connected to the internet. So what we're going to do now is go back to the main screen. Out to network and internet settings. And then back to home. And now if we go onto YouTube, we can see straight away at the bottom that we're back online. And I'm just going to refresh the page. And there we go, we're up and running. And there we go, we've got some of my videos here. So let's select one of them. I'm going to turn the volume up.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. And in today's video, I will be answering your questions you have for me about my MG4 and MG in general. For now, I've picked out 10 of what I think will be of most value.
And there we go. So YouTube's working great. Volume's brilliant. That's coming through the stereo. That's what we want. So we're going to come out of there. Now, before I was mentioning about these different icons, the home takes you to the home page. The list one lists the apps you have open. So at the moment, we've only got these apps open. So you can clear them all, a bit like you do on your phone, or you can leave them running. It's up to you. Obviously, it uses processing power, so you can clear them all if you want to. So there's YouTube. Netflix works exactly the same. Now, I'm not logged into Netflix on here, or I don't think I am anyway, but we'll soon find out. But as you can see, it loads up fine. And it's ready to roll. So Netflix is working fine. YouTube is also working fine. Let's see if we can just play a bit of Lincoln Lawyer. There we go. I'm not going to turn the volume up because I don't want to get any copyright strikes, but I think you can get the gist of what's going on. So that's working absolutely fine. Latency issues, it's pretty good. It's not stuttering or anything like that. So we're going to click on the floating dock, return home, and we're back to this screen. Now we've also got media files if you want to save videos, images if you really want to. I'm not sure if that's what people would use this device for. I think the most likely source of use of this device is going to be for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and the access to Netflix, YouTube, that sort of thing. But you can install more apps. You can go to the Play Store, and then if you log in with your account details, we can install more apps onto the device. And there's plenty of things on there. We've also got web browsers, that kind of thing. So if you want to surf the internet from the car, you can do. But as you can see, it's working really great. I'll insert some footage now of using the device for car navigation, which I did before I sped up the video. You can see that it hasn't dropped out or anything like that, which is really, really good. And I've tested Apple CarPlay with Google Maps and also Apple Maps to get a nice variation of the different navigational software. I will try Waze as well. But so far so good. The device is working fine. It's not losing connectivity, which can be an issue with a lot of these devices. So far so good, but I shall update you as and when as I test it. So we just jumped in the car. It was already firing up before we even sat in the thing, so really quick to boot up. We're going to head, so let's get the sat nav going. So we're going to connect to CarPlay. Reverse out of this spot, and there we go, we're connected straight away, nice and easy. Let's go into maps, going ahead for Hardwick. There we go. So we're testing obviously the sat nav. I shall also have Spotify running, and we're also going to see how stable the connection is. So I'm just going to zoom out a little on the camera so we can see a bit of the road as well. So let's get through these lights and get up onto the motorway. So the good news is one of the biggest issues you get with anything which you use which is wireless is the latency, and that's whether there's any lag between the device and your phone, for example. As you can see here, I mean, we're just approaching this side street on our left, and we are passing it exactly the same time as we are on the map, so that's really, really good. So once again, we're going to test to see how stable the device is, and we're running Spotify and also Apple Maps together at the same time, and as you can see from the journey, it's holding really, really well. Again, latency not really an issue, and we make the full journey without any disconnections. So we jump back into the car. CarPlay's ready to go. So we're going to hit straight on CarPlay, and we are looking to go to next. So we've got our route there, so we're going to hit go. But before we do that, we're going to look at some other apps first. So we're going to go to our tiles. Now we now have Waze, ZapMap and Electroverse and Google Maps. Now we can't use ZapMap. You do need a premium subscription to use that in the car. But we've got Waze, Google Maps, and Electroverse as well. Electroverse I use for a lot of my charging because I can get it billed straight to my household utility. So we're going to click on Waze. So we're going to use Waze to navigate to next. So we're going to tap on the screen, search box, keyboard. So we're heading to next. So it's just over a kilometre away. We'll change those units to those metrics to miles shortly. So there we go. So we know where we're heading. 5 minutes away from here. And there we go. We've got our route. So there we go. So we've got a nice 3D map. So we're going to follow that now to next. So let's go into reverse. Now we're going to lose that screen for a second, so we can see the parking sensors working. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head down the road the incorrect way to the Waze is telling us to test it and how it redirects us. So currently we're heading the opposite direction to that. There we go. So nice and snappy. There we go. So just going to rejoin the journey. So there we go. So we've got the recents there, we've got next. So that's going to reconfigure the route. There we go. Nice and snappy. That's what we want. So we've got warning of a speed camera in 0.2 miles. I do know about that one. So that's good that the sat nav is picking that up. Gosh, is that Al Pacino? Now what I like about Waze is it's just got some really good humour and character about it. It's not just a sat nav, it's quite interactive. So right turn here. Now that speed camera is just up here on the left. We're going to pass that in a second. Watching the speed all the time. So the speed camera is just on our left up here. So in terms of latency, it's very, very accurate. There's the speed camera on the left here. So we've gone straight just past it as we've passed the actual camera. There we go. Right, so that's us for this part. We're going to jump back in the car in about 5 minutes time, and we shall have the journey back home, which will be a few miles. Okay, so now we've enabled location services with Google Maps. We can now use Google Maps, so let's start that up. We're going to search and we're going to look for Hardwick, which is right by where I live. There we go. I'm going to search Hardwick. There we go. So 12-minute drive, 5.3 miles. So let's hit start on that. Just a little warning about being aware of your surrounding areas. That's fine. Okay, so we're ready to go. So this time using Google Maps, and again the system is holding up really, really well. Latency not an issue at all. We're also using Apple Music in the background, and we follow the route all the way back to Hardwick until we get to this junction, and I'm deliberately testing to see if it's going to struggle to reroute or if it quickly does it, and as you can see it handles it really, really well. It's adjusted straight away, no lag there. We do have Waze and Apple Music running in the background. You can see Apple Music there. So this roundabout is asking us to go over and to the left. We're actually going to do nearly a full circle and go right instead. So let's see how quickly it adapts to the route change. So we passed the turn in, and there we go. Nice and snappy. So up until this point we've tested Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, and also Apple Music and Spotify. All worked really well with no latency issues and of course no dropouts. The device is really handling these tasks really well. So there we have it. We've tested this device pretty thoroughly. We've done a few journeys, some longer, some shorter. So I think I can definitely bring the pros and cons to you with this device. So let's begin with the pros. This device is light, it's compact, it's going to be easy to hide in your vehicle. Now of course this is only for wired CarPlay able vehicles, but as you can see from the size of it, you're not going to notice it, and it's going to be very easy to stow that away. The second pro is how easy it is to use this system. It is very quick. I haven't discovered any dropouts so far. It's been very reliable, and you've seen the access to the third-party apps which work incredibly well as well. Latency issues very minimal, which is also really important if you're in deep traffic and you need to make changes or evaluate the traffic ahead. Then know you can rely on your software you've got on your vehicle. Then that's going to be a massive bonus and be reliable. In terms of integration with the vehicle as well, if you're using the music software like Spotify or Apple Music, you can use your toggle buttons on the steering wheel to forward and go backwards through music, pause, play, adjust volume, etc. And then finally, let's have a look at the cons. There really isn't many with this device, I have to be honest. If I could think of any, it would be that the startup sequence between when the device powers up to the point where it connects to your phone, that could obviously be a lot quicker, and it's clearly quicker if you have an integrated wireless CarPlay in your system on your car, but it really isn't that much longer, and I am really nitpicking here. The second con would ultimately be the price. Now, no one wants to pay very much for these systems because at the end of the day, we have these systems already in the car. It's just that we want to find another way of being able to access them in a more convenient form. But at the same time, a price is worth paying if it enriches your experience in the car more, and if you've got access to third-party multimedia apps as well as wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, then it might not be a big cost for you. Now, in terms of this device, at the moment, at the time of recording of this video, the device costs $159.99, and that's with free shipping. If you do use my link in the description, that will give you that discount and that price. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the video I will be doing a giveaway, and I shall be doing that with this very device in this video. So this is a brand new device. This is the one which was shipped to me by Onecarstereo, so big thanks to them again. And if you would like to try and win this device, all you need to do is follow the instructions in the video description, including the terms and also the closing date. Anyway, thanks for tuning in for another video. Hope you enjoyed this one. A like and a sub to the channel will always be most appreciative. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.